a Motorsport Podcast Network production. Hey gang, it's Noons. This is the V8 Sleuth Podcast. We're rolling into part 2 of my chat with David Cauchi. Now, this pod was recorded at Grove Racing in Melbourne late in 2025. In fact, just as he was about to leave the building for the last time and move back to Queensland. There's plenty to chew through on this podcast. There's that unbelievable crazy day and finish at Bathurst in 2014. Yes, we had to reopen that wound. And then being benched just half a season later after he and Jamie had won the 2014 championship. David opens up on leaving Triple Eight, how it affected his relationship with Jamie Whincup, who of course by now is team principal at Triple Eight, and why he's now left Groves and what could be next. So let's get going. Let's pick up the chat as he moves back from a season with Lucas Dumbrell Motorsport to the main Red Bull Triple Eight squad and has a chance to race engineer the reigning champion, Jamie Whincup. So 2014, you've got the Red Bull shirt on.
Yeah.
You are Jamie's race engineer. He's the reigning, what's he now, 4-time champion by that stage, 5-time champion?
5.
He's up to 5 by that stage. So how does that, this is the next step. So how does this news get broken? Do you remember the call, how this all goes down, how this all unfolds? Because this is, on your journey, this is an important little moment.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, absolutely. Going into race engineer, a 5-time champion is
no pressure, mate.
No pressure is a big deal. So, look, it was just RD that had a chat to me when we sort of did the restructure then, and Dutto getting that promotion, that opened up the door. I mean, I already had a very good relationship with Jamie, so that was already established and already there. So that side of things was, and obviously worked with everyone for such a long time. So, it was, that side of it was all relatively, straightforward, and I'd had some experience the year before. So, I guess, it was unreal. Like it felt cool knowing that race engineering Jamie in at the time the best team in the championship was a massive massive moment.
Does the dynamic change where you're now the race engineer, that sometimes you got to step up to him and push back on him and tell him, no, I don't agree with you? Or did you already have that relationship, or did you have to kind of enforce it from that point in, because you're in a position now where I've sort of got the call here, and if this goes wrong, it's sort of on me.
Yeah.
I don't have someone above me to cop the hit.
Yeah. I guess it took it it's definitely on your mind that, you're engineering a champion, I guess. So, I mean, and again, there was still, there was still very good people around. There was still Jeremy around and Ludo and Dutto. So there was still a lot of good, I had a lot of support from all those guys. But ultimately, the buck ends up stopping with you as the race engineer. You're responsible for the performance of the car, and I was still very new to it from a pure race engineering perspective. So I had to be, I guess, humble enough. But then you also have to have sort of a bit of confidence and a bit of devil about you, and to go and get it. But I don't know. We just balanced it all right. I mean, 2014 was in the end a pretty successul year. 2015 was tough.
We'll get to that.
Well, I figure you were going to get to that.
That's the logical one.
Yeah. So, but 2014 was a great year. It was pretty.
What happened in the first race?
First race we won it.
Correct.
We rolled out at Adelaide, just like we're meant to.
The tone is set. So the Triple Eight winning the first race of the year thing kept that going. Tick.
Yeah.
And then the championships there, Sandown 500 with J-Dub and PD, Port Umbrella.
Yep.
Piles of other wins along the way.
Bathurst.
How did you guess? Is this the most, of all the races you've been involved in, is this the most commonly asked about one?
Yeah.
It's up there. Yeah. It's got to be a podium contender.
Yeah, it's the one, it's the most public one. So, when you go to when you're meeting new people or something, it's the one that if there's, and Bathurst is that race that non-motorsport people watch. So it's the random one that people bring up. Yeah.
Do they still bring it up?
100%.
Even people who don't know.
Even my good friends still rip me about it. Yeah.
Because you're the voice on the radio. So
you're that guy. Yeah.
You're it. It's there for eternity, no matter what.
Yeah.
What do you? I think everybody forgets I mean, that was a mad, wild day.
Oh.
The race stoppage, the track breaking up, all sorts of stuff had started in the lead up. You guys started at the back with Chaz because of
he crashed.
Jamie crashed in qualifying on Friday. Yeah,
crashed cutting.
Very rare thing.
The car wasn't very good. We had a shocking car.
I was going to say, no good.
No.
Sunday, all the stuff that happens. And then, of course, you fast forward through to the end and
we can win with it.
That's the bit that everybody forgets. And I always had this feeling with Jamie, because by that stage, he's won a lot.
Yeah.
He had this, I'm so interested in your take on this, and this is the ultimate example. It was like a cricketer who'd made enough centuries and was in the team and just went, I'm just going to swing. I'm just going to rip it. I'm going to grip and rip. And if it goes over the fence for 6, fantastic.
Yeah.
If I get bowled middle stump, not the end of the world. I always had that feeling at that era with him that he just opened up to possibility. And it was either glorious success.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other times when he played the same game and it was glorious success. So we all didn't know how close it was to playing the shit fight.
Yeah.
Give us your take on that scenario, how that all unfolded. And here we are, nearly 12 years on and we're still talking about it.
Look, we'll quickly go through the weekend. I guess I said we really struggled with the track had been resurfaced.
That's right.
So,
so
the track was really, really edgy. The car was really difficult, and we weren't on the pace. The car was hard to drive. And then basically, when was it? I think it was, I can't remember if it was for quali. We went different directions with the car. Our car still wasn't very good. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't for quali. That ended up being on the Saturday. But we crashed. So we qualified like 20th, 18th or 20th or something like that.
Second last.
Yeah, second last.
I think Chaz only got
there was
the
Chaz behind us. Why was he behind us?
Because he had passed under a red flag, Russell Ingall, during qualifying. So he got excluded from qualifying.
Right, yeah.
You guys just didn't have
we just...
whatever. You were one spot.
Whatever lap we'd put in before then. But because I remember on the grid looking back and seeing them behind us. So, but then on Saturday, I think, it must have been Saturday then, we went different directions with both cars. The direction that Jeremy went in was better. So
he probably didn't have it in his plan for Warren Luff to lose his brakes and smash into the back of Lowndes as well.
That's right.
Like that was that weekend as well.
Yeah, geez. There you go.
No wonder they made a few docos.
Yeah, I knew that happened, but it's hard to believe that all this was the same weekend.
Yeah.
So and so then we basically didn't bolt that setup in, I think, until the warm up. Right, and then the warm up, we did the warm up and was like, okay, yep, we're all right here. Like, yep, let's have a dip. And Jamie started the car because you're like, well, sort of,
why not?
You got us in this mess. You get us about him, but you know what I mean.
Do it.
Yeah, he sort of was a part of getting us in that mess. So he's like, right, you dig us out of it. And then I think that first opening stint of,
but how was the start?
Oh yeah,
everyone thought he jumped the start
because
he was so on it. He passed 3 before the control line.
So I mean, that's where that first stint of that race. I'm pretty sure he passed Craig. I'm pretty sure by the end of his stint,
he was up there.
He was in front of the team car. So that was probably. I mean, and he was taking big risk. I remember seeing the traces, some steering traces over the top. And there was some big moments. So he took big risk. But he brought the car back. By then we were already in a competitive position after that first stint. And then the day got wild with the track breaking up. We had a vibration. We were having vibration issues. We changed. Can't remember if we changed the prop shaft. I think during the stoppage we had to either change the prop shaft or maybe we just had to realign it because we were having bad vibration problems in that particular car. We changed brakes and
it was like the half time.
Pretty much changing everything on the car.
It's a bullshit rule.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. So halfway in a race, you can stop it.
Yeah,
but go whatever.
Going nuts. Except the tires, can't change those.
Yeah.
So and then that last stint of the race.
No, but there'd been a penalty before that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Remember that?
So
he hits the Nissan coming out of the chase,
right,
and loops it.
Yep. So then
Let's drive through.
we pitted actually. So yeah, we pitted because he might have hit I can't remember if he hit the wall there after exiting the chase.
Yeah.
So we pitted and we pulled into the garage thinking that the suspension was damaged. But it turned out just the tire was off the bead. So we quickly changed tires, pushed it back out and stayed on the lead lap. So yeah, there we go again. Then we got a drive through. Far out. Oh, it's all coming back.
It gets worse. But
yeah, it's Jesus. I've
got the number for a therapist at the end of the session. Okay.
So I think then, I think that was the last of all the dramas before the last one.
No, well, there was another one to come, yeah.
And then, all of a sudden we're, you get to that last stint and we're still in a position where we're leading the race and we can still win the race.
It's bad. Who writes these scripts?
It's mental,
When did you realise
this ain't going to work?
This is not working. What we're saying to him and what he's doing are two different things, or not close enough on the line.
And look, it's hard. I mean, you ask the impossible to the driver. You say to them, right, I want you to hold position and save fuel and look after the tyres and go fast. Yep. Don't lose positions. So, and Jamie, we were always very, very straight. It's like, well, I can't give you everything. Like I can.
I'm no magician. Yeah. I can give you 2 or 4 or 3 or 5. But...
So I mean, we were in a bit of a tough position. And look, on that day, and in Jamie's head, sometimes we had been, maybe on the conservative side with fuel saving and things like that. But on that day, we weren't. And actually, we just had a couple of, there's a lot of variables, and a lot of little calculation things that can, that determine your overall accuracy. And typically you set those things up so you're a little bit on the conservative side. So that
a little bit of margin.
Yeah, a little bit of margin so that if you're a little bit out, you're still in. On that day, everything fell under the line. Everything was just on the wrong side, and you don't fully understand it until what we call you get into the pot, which is the pots were back then designed to basically have about 2 laps. I think it was 2 laps of Bathurst in them. So until you sort of see that, that's a defining moment in your life.
Can't go back from it.
So once you see that you're in the pot and you've got more than 2 laps to go, you're in Barney Rubble.
Yeah.
So that and that's what it came down to. So probably we could have saved a little bit more fuel up until that point, and probably kept the lead. But you're always strategizing as well, because sometimes if you when you're the lead car, you are actually in the worst position, because if you're second, you can coast a little bit more, and because you're in their wake sort of thing, you can still keep up with them and save some more fuel. When you're leading, you're the one punching the hole in the air, so you have to sort of use a bit more fuel to maintain that speed or that So yeah, we were in a good position in that we were the lead car, but everything else was just going against us, and the numbers were a little bit out that day, and we didn't save enough earlier on when we probably needed to, and then by the time we realised exactly where we were, it was too late.
And we know it's getting critical because Dutto's jumping on the phone.
Yeah,
you've been trying. And he gets on.
Yep.
And then I think he says, Jamie, he was always copy. That was his sort of word that, I think.
Yeah, it was copy. Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, great. He can hear us. Yeah. He hasn't just pulled the radio out and gone fully rogue here. But
yeah. Look, we tried everything to communicate, I guess, the severity of the issue. Look, just on that day, I mean, look, I'm a big one. Like, you win, you have to win together and lose together, and sometimes the drivers got the engineers out I won't swear, but out of the crap. And
sometimes it's
the other way around. So, it's easy to say on that day, we could have all done some different things that would have yielded a better outcome. But on that day, it wasn't our day. The Bathurst gods weren't on our side, and we didn't win that race.
Doesn't he pull up at the end
because he's out of juice, so he can't drive it back
No,
around.
he stopped basically in front of our garage.
He stopped in front, jumped over the fence, threw the boots or whatever it was to the crowd, and off he went.
Yeah, off he went, and that was that. Yeah, wow. we were done, and we dropped back to fifth. Like, so we got nothing for it.
Not even a trip to the podium out of it.
He had to go to the podium. So yeah, and Craig had he got a penalty for spinning winner bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, but the sun was in his eyes. That's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we ended up with we had nothing to cheer about that day.
I think 2025 Bathurst, which we'll get to, probably sort of competes with 14, but not for all those madness things. It was just because it was an epic race. But it's a good. Don't worry, we're gonna bring this back from a hard Bathurst story to a good Bathurst story, David. Yeah. It'll be okay. 14 ends up good. Championship in Sydney. I think that's the year that it just pelted with rain every day, and
the last race got red flag.
It got canned, and the championship celebrations are inside the showgrounds, inside the where the Easter show is normally.
That was
kind of cool.
It was cool. I like playing ball.
I was a fan. You're a Sydney boy, so you'd say that. Whereabouts in Sydney did you grow up?
Greystanes.
Where's that?
Western Sydney.
So
like in between.
You were in your element.
In between between Sydney Motorsport Park and Parramatta, basically.
Mate, Homebush.
Somewhere in the middle there.
As good as you were going to get for a home race outside there. Right, so 14, great. 15, we go from this first year of engineering. Okay, Bathurst doesn't quite work out, but championship, lots of wins, great. Halfway in 15, the blokes down here from Campbellfield are having a good run with their FGF Falcon.
Yeah.
You guys are having a battle.
Yeah.
I think Jamie's got 8th in the championship or something like that. I looked it up the other day. And there's a decision made for Townsville that you're now not the engineer.
Yeah.
How does that go down? I mean, within half a season, you've gone from being, in the champions to an internal change. So, that's a hard one to stomach. But how does that get dealt with, get administered? How do you deal with it? Because that's got to sting.
Yeah. That was tough. We struggled that year. We just, I guess, Tickford stepped it up, and we were struggling to, particularly on our side. Shippy had started with us in 15 and was engineering Lounsey, and they were doing a pretty reasonable job. We developed a lot in that year as well. We ended up designing a new front upright, and that gave us a little bit of a step, etc. But we just couldn't get it together. Probably I lost a fair bit of confidence that year. It probably really, even before I got sort of subbed out as such, it just wasn't happening for us. And it takes two. Like, it was on me, it was on Jamie. But then, RD, he had to make the I guess the hard decision to give Dutto a go, put Dutto back on,
sort of rebuild
to try to rebuild, and Dutto had way more experience than I did as a race engineer. And we had to sort of do a few things more outside of the box. I guess 14, we were, you're always evolving the car and making changes, but we stayed pretty close to the base playbook most of the times. And then 15, we had to find a new home, sort of a new operating window. So I guess, Dutto probably had more confidence than I did to do big things, I guess, make bigger changes and take almost more risk with the car at the time. So look, although it was, at the time, I was devastated, and but it no doubt made me a better engineer in the long term. Of course, those things are hard to see at the time. But then when I got back to race engineering for New Zealand, we came out and won. So
what changed? How'd you get your mojo back? Because clearly that's a balloon deflate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do you reinflate? Do you have to self-inflate? Is it external inflation? How do you pump yourself back up here to get back to that?
Yeah, it's like, I guess, anything in life, you get knocked down. If you stay down.
I thought you were going to sing the Chumbawamba song for a minute, mate.
Yeah, it's easy to stay down, but I guess, look, again, the team was, the team was great, and personally I had to, dig deep and work on myself as well, and try to, work out, where I could improve and how I could be better.
So what did you do better?
This
is a very critical analysis.
I think I just became a lot more methodical in, I guess, my preparation, and a lot more structured in how I made decisions. They were the things I worked on a little bit of my, just my confidence, and tried to be a bit more decisive in my decision making as well. They were probably the main things. Just, I just had to up it. I just had to improve, as an individual, and the way I went about sort of race engineering and my processes. I had to take it to another level. Shippy is a super clever guy, way smarter than me. I'll never say that to his face, but
he'll never hear.
Yeah, he'll never. I hope he never listens to this. So he brought, he pushed me.
For those playing along at home, Shippy is Grant McPherson, who was at FPR for a long time, 888 for a fair time, WAU Grove.
Yeah.
Because I thought, have we actually said his name? Because here we were talking about your name at the start, and we sort of get the name and we just go with it.
Exactly. So he brought a level to the team, then I guess I had to step up and sort of match him, and then try to level up and be better as well. So that's what I, over time, that's what I did. And then later on that year we did pretty well, because we won in New Zealand. What else after that? I'm pretty sure we, that run home, then we were we had a pretty
Phillip Island.
We had a
Homebush.
There's Homebush. We had a pretty good run. I was so determined to win. That was, I was so motivated after, being low. I was so motivated to come back and show that I deserve that role, and that I'm gonna do this right.
Got the graph going back up, and the waves going back up again, to the point where the team wins the championship the next year, because Shane arrives and he wins in the 97, and then Jamie has that 17 win, which is his 7th title. With that crazy Newcastle finish, but there's so many sliding doors moments that everyone remembers the bit at the end, and the penalty for McLaughlin, and Craig and Scotty McLaughlin coming together, and all those bits. But then they forget the pathway in the year. You don't get that car going again at Bathurst. After the engine drama, just to be classified. All those little points.
All those little things,
adds up, mate.
They all add up. Well, that same day, Scotty had an engine drama as well, except his ended up parking up the top, so he never got going again. But we came back in. I think, Kenny did something just to make sure that it could do.
Probably had Chewy Gull or something else in it.
The last couple of laps to be classified. Get us back some points, and that was in the end enough. I mean, we went to Newcastle with the points lead, but then we crashed in the first race. We got taken out, Caruso. Something to
first lap.
First lap. And then sort of dropped back, and then the Sunday, we knew all we could do is win the race, and then the rest was going to be. It was going to be then determined where Scotty finished, and we all know how it ended.
We do. See the video. It doesn't change every time you watch it.
That was a huge year.
Well, Saturday though. So I have a vivid memory of, it was a Penske 1-2 from memory. Scotty and Fabian were both on the podium. If they went 1-2, they were 1-3 or whatever they were. And I remember at the time thinking, they look like they're celebrating a Sunday. It was Saturday. It wasn't over yet.
No.
And even though the points were sort of against you guys, who needs reality TV when you've got motor racing? Because Bathurst 14, Newcastle 17, all these things, you write that script and submit it, and they go, nah, no way that could happen.
Well, one other thing I think I'm going to be proud of is, I reckon, win or lose, I reckon I've been involved in every, if you almost look at every epic moment, I think
you got to be remembered something.
I think I've been a part of that. All those just crazy moments where, like you said, you're like, you can't script this. Probably played a role in it, being on the right and wrong side of the outcome. But I mean, yeah, that's all part of the
Well, now that you're looking for a job, maybe you could be a script writer.
Yeah,
All that stuff that you've done over the years and just bolt it into one.
exactly.
It might be a thing.
It
might be a thing. This has all happened for a reason. You might be in Hollywood before we know it.
But yeah, on the 17 season, I have to say that was just the ultimate never giving up sort of season. We were developing the ZB. Penske obviously were coming in, and they they were hitting their stride, and they were they had a lot of resources, and Scotty Mack and Ludo, and they were doing a good job, but we just never gave up. And
old mate ends up in the fountain at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
And the flip off the boat,
backflip off the boat after sculling a beer, I think.
And that's that little crack of Whincup looseness that
That's
not many people saw that. I think they were a bit surprised, but I think a lot of people in the paddock went, no, that's about right. That's actually about right. ZB is the next thing. So all these big engineering projects, Holden homologation team, by that stage you've got the Holden backing. You are the Holden team at that point. And then so the Cauchi Whincup relationship rolls on. There's still wins, but Shane's got stronger.
Yeah.
And then there's a point where you become Shane's engineer and you get another championship. So how does that all trigger? Because it's not that long ago, but it's long enough ago to make the brain a little foggy on who, what, when, where.
Well, it was triggered by Shippy, Grant McPherson.
Oh, it was his fault.
It was his fault, yeah. Well, he left to go to Walkinshaw. So we needed another race engineer, and I guess Jamie already had, I suppose, retirement on his mind for the following year, as it turned out. So the decision was made to transfer me over to Shane's race engineer, and then Wes McDougall got brought in as Jamie's race engineer. So yeah, that was the catalyst there, and that was a fun year.
Why was it fun?
Well, Shane's he's an interesting animal. He's Shane. I mean,
I was going to say, peel the onion, because
they're and again, Shane and Jamie approached racing in sort of different ways. Neither both just as right as each other. They were different personalities, but that year, I don't know. I just took on this real we just wanted to win. We were animals that year. I'll be honest. We were a bit selfish, probably. Internally a little bit, maybe. So
definitely
at times, for sure.
Who led that? You or him? Or is it an us thing? You were driving?
I think it was just us. We were just a little bit cheeky. Yeah. Probably a bit of him rubbing off on me, and I'm that it's in my personality as well. I maybe just hide it a bit more. So we just went for it and didn't care too much about anything else or anyone else.
Where were you when you heard that he'd done his collarbone that year?
I was about to go out. I was in my apartment and was about to go out.
Sorry, I'm bringing up all these bad memories, by the way.
That's okay.
Part
of it. And I was angry. Not angry at him. I was just because I was super hungry that year. I wanted to win the championship that year. Nothing.
Why were you more super hungry that year? To prove you could do it with another driver? To prove to yourself something?
Well, it had been a while. The last championship I had won as a race engineer was 217. And Penske had they'd won a couple in a row. So yeah, we were running dry. We hadn't had a championship win for a couple of years. So with Jamie, Shane, both of those drivers, could have won the championship sort of thing. They were both capable, but I just, like I said, I was just so determined to win the championship that year. Nothing was going to stop me or anyone,
Not even a mountain bike crash.
Not even a mountain bike crash. Yeah. So, I at that time when I first heard, that's the first thing that came to mind was far out. We've just lost it.
I'm sure it was a different word.
It was a different word, and I screamed. I yelled it very loud. I promise you. And that was the first thing that came to mind was far out. Like we've lost the championship. All right, if we miss a round, or two, we didn't know at the time, but obviously his health maybe popped into my mind a little bit, but
a little,
yeah, but yeah, that's the first thing that sort of you think of. You're like, because geez, all this effort that we're going to put in, and then if we can't actually win the trophy at the end, that would have been gutting. But as it turned out, we then just went into full recovery mode and just did everything we possibly could to get Shane in a condition that he could drive the car.
He didn't just drive the car,
Yeah.
David.
Yeah.
He went 17th to first to win a race.
Yeah,
I think he won two that weekend, didn't he?
Yeah.
No one started a race at Sandown in the championship history that far back and won.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a 250k race. It was like a short, sharp 30-odd lapper.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
And it was
with one arm.
With one arm, yeah. And I mean, I remember like after the first run, like come back in and like you open the door and I like looked at him and I was like, "You good?" And he's like, "Yeah." Like, and you could tell he was a bit like, "Oh, I don't know," but we're like, "Yep, okay." And then quali didn't go very good. We started. I thought it was 18th, but whatever. Details.
It was a fair one.
And then, but in the race, it was the track was a bit wet, like it was those mixed conditions. And
because he's no good in those.
Yeah, he's crap in those variable conditions, isn't he? So, and then it just the weekend went on from there, and then Sunday ended up being wet, so it was a bit easier on him physically, and we managed to win the thing.
You don't like to do things easy, do you? Like there's always twists and turns to these successes and championships and all that sort of stuff. But 21 is interesting for other reasons too. So it's kind of like you see football teams that they're fighting for the premiership. Meanwhile, there's some of their coaching staff that might be moving on the next year.
Yeah.
Was it ever in your brain or in your aim to be a team principal, to be more than a race engineer? And if so, where was that born and how does that start the pathway to Grove Racing?
Yeah, like it was something like, I'd been race engineering then, for quite a few years. So I was looking to try to take the next step. And again, at T8, that was also the time where there was going to be an ownership change. Jamie was going to change this into a driver to a team owner. There was still lots of senior people around in those sort of leadership positions. Duddo was still there, team manager. Jamie was going to take on like the team principal role. So I guess the next step for me, I was sort of, I guess, at my ceiling at T8. Again, race engineering was great, and I loved it and still do. But there wasn't a clear next step for me. So, and I wanted to challenge myself outside of those four walls, I guess, at some point. Like I wanted to see if if I was capable of succeeding outside of those four walls that had again extraordinary people and great leadership and all that sort of stuff. So I started thinking about that, and because we have very long notice periods, you sort of have to make a decision pretty early, like halfway through a season, to be sort of in a position where you can go and do something the next year. So, it was a tricky. Yeah, it was again tricky. It's always hard, because it was a team where we were having a great year, and like I said, the goal was to win the championship. That was it. Like anything but that was going to be a failure that year. And then in the background, I had all these sort of longer term sort of views or longer term sort of thinking of what I wanted to do next. Yeah.
Do you reach out? Do they find you? How does this all sort of start?
Look, I made that decision in my head that I wanted to sort of move on to something else. So that was the first step. I think it was. I think Brenton reached out to me eventually. Yeah,
because by that stage the Groves are co-owners
Yeah.
They've bought into what was Kelly Racing,
Yeah, that's
Kelly
right.
Grove in
Yep,
21.
Yep.
So they're running Mustangs.
Yep. And still, Kelly's involved. Todd's
Yeah,
still involved.
yeah.
So Todd's still running the team for 2021. And then we started having we had a couple of conversations. Can't quite remember all the timelines, but and then it sort of all grew from there, and learned a bit more about what was happening, with the Groves, and eventually made the decision to come over as team principal.
What convinced you? What was the bit that, or is it the sum of parts, the vision of where they were intending to go that said, okay, this is not a short-term thing. I can see where this is. You go, we can strap into this rocket and we can take off here.
Yeah, definitely those guys, and I knew them. I knew Brenton and Steve because they worked with us, and then Brenton did Super 2 with Triple Eight. So I sort of knew of them, and I guess they were very clear that they were doing this to win. It wasn't, and they were serious about it. I said to them that I'm not interested in coming over and running, midfield or anything like that. Like if we're going to,
I don't want to just have the team principal.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a job title.
Talent.
Yeah, for me, it's I want to be able to come over, and be able to, run the team in a way that I think we need to run it, and with of course with their support and their backing, and they were serious about the investment that they needed to make and what we needed. They're racers. Those two guys have actually probably done more, racing without doubt, have done more racing around the world than almost anyone else in Australian motorsport, other than, probably Oscar Piastri or something, right? So, those guys, they know motorsport. They're not, they're great businessmen outside of motorsport, but they also get motorsport. And that's the biggest thing for me, was that I realized that these guys, they understand motorsport. They get it. And very quickly, I realized that, from conversations, that we were on the same page about a lot of things. Wasn't trying to sort of, have to convince them of this or that or X or Y. They said, I don't know. We just connected very, very quickly, and we had a mutual sort of respect and understanding for each other, and it sort of then grew pretty quickly once we started talking.
How does it go down when you've got to deliver the news to, it's your family? I mean, You've been there for, by that stage, 14 years?
Yeah.
You've worked with everyone there for a long time. There's not many people that leave. Yeah. They're there for they're long-termers.
Yeah.
It's literally family.
Yeah. Really hard. I started, I spoke to Jamie about it, more, initially when I was, before the Grove thing came about, when I was thinking of, hey, I want a next step, I want something else, what's around, that I guess that was, that first thing was hard, that first conversation, saying that you're thinking about leaving. And then it wasn't until a bit later that the Grove thing sort of came about. So, and then when you do have to go and say that, hey, now not only I'm, was thinking about doing something else, but now I've found something else, and it's at a rival team. Yeah, that's hard.
Is that a walk into what? Roland's still on the scene at this stage?
Yeah, but I was also dealing a lot with Jamie as well that year, because of knowing what was happening the following year.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, it was hard. From my perspective, I think I would have felt worse if I was saying, hey, I'm going there to race engineer, to do the same role. I think that would have been harder. But the fact that it was a career change, not career change, but it's a next step. It's a next step for me, that, and that was what I wanted. I wanted to test myself in that, and I really sort of wanted to. That was a role that I'd always sort of aspired to. Probably never going to be a team owner. So having the backing of the owners to run the team as team principal. That was as good as I was going to get. So it was the ultimate opportunity for me.
Legals.
Yeah, got messy, didn't it? It got messy. So that was
Was that a misunderstanding on both sides? They view that, hey, you can't do anything for X time. We don't see it that way.
Yeah.
Is that in the nutshell what it was?
Yeah, that was a shame. I mean, look, I finished the 21 season with T8.
Did you get shut out of anything that?
I started to get shut out of.
But you could understand.
I can understand. Yeah, totally. Like you start to get shut. Like it was more the Gen 3 development stuff. Actually, I was still race engineering, so they couldn't really shut me out of, of that much stuff in terms of operating the car. But yeah, it's hard. Like,
it's not like a long breakup.
We're
still living together.
Yeah, we're still doing it.
I'm leaving,
but I'm going to leave at the end of the year. So no, like it's a tough sort of little situation. And I thought it was all, going down. Like I told them where I was going when I knew, and when, but I see at the time it was really tough. I didn't agree with everything that was going on, and it was a tough time to go through. I didn't think it was fair to not be able to work for 6 months, not earn money for 6 months, and the fact that I was going to a different role as team principal as opposed to race engineering, and they knew what I was doing. But look. In the end, today, I view it all. It's just sometimes these things happen. It's business. It hurt hurt the relationship for a little bit between Jamie and I, that was the saddest thing, because business is business. But Jamie and I were great friends and had had great success together, and done lots of stuff together. And I'm happy to say that nowadays we're great friends, and still are, and still will be forever. So yeah, that was a tough little time. And again, it's more about the relationships more than anything. But in the end, it all sort of worked out. It all basically died off.
Yeah.
The
sting of the initial.
Yeah, and sadly, the only people that won out of that were lawyers.
Lawyers
made a lot of money.
They're the ones who always win out.
That's the saddest thing. But like I said, sometimes it's just part of business and what has to happen.
Yep. So we're at the end of 4 years here now. You've been in this building here at Braeside in Melbourne, southeast suburbs. You came in, I think the team was 8th or 9th in the team's championship.
8th, yeah.
2nd in the season just finished.
Yeah.
You've got 2 young blokes who are winning races, finish on podiums, one's in the finals.
Yeah.
Bathurst win, and Adelaide win to round out the year again. The graph's gone, like, you guys have been building something really great here.
Yeah.
And now you're leaving. Why?
Why?
Yeah. This on the outside, you go, all this work's gone in. What an idiot things get. No, I didn't say that. What's the go?
Yeah,
inside your brain.
Oh, Jesus, we'll be there a while. How long have you got? Yeah, look, this has been an awesome 4 years. I've had it's been a tough, hard 4 years. We've dug deep, and but thankfully, like everything, I guess the Groves promised me, they've delivered on. They've given me the support and the team the support that it needed, and they've made the personal investment that we needed to get the team to the position that it's in today. And they've been huge on they're very good with also just helping with picking the drivers. They're the ones that sort of spotted Matt Payne and that sort of things, and but then they've also given me the freedom to build the team and the culture and the processes and the playbook around going racing and how we go racing. They've given me that leash and let me sort of run with that.
But you're giving the leash back now.
I am giving it back. Yeah, I know. So look, it's been a great 4 years, and we've achieved, a huge amount and had some great success. And yeah, definitely for me personally, seeing the team go from 8th to 2nd in the team's championship. Yeah, put aside the Bathurst wins and the race wins and the win by 0.05 of a second and Tassie, again, some really epic moments. But for me, seeing that growth and seeing the team evolve and watching things internally, even when we weren't going that good in those couple of years, I could see the growth internally. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's coming. It's frustrating because you want to go out and win straight away, right? But now for me, I guess, look, again, talking very honestly about everything, it's, for me, probably the move to Melbourne hasn't, living in Melbourne hasn't quite it hasn't done it for me. I lived 14 years in Queensland. I have a lot of really good friends in Queensland and a real, close friend network there. And the lifestyle there is something that I really liked. And I've been in the sport for 18 years now as well. So, a long time in the sport, and you make a lot of sacrifice. Everyone in the sport, from, it doesn't matter whether you're a team principal, a driver, mechanics, commercial crew, everyone makes a lot of mistakes. Yes, you make a lot of mistakes, true, and I've made a lot of those. But you make a lot of sacrifice to do this sport, and I've given my all in the 18 years. I don't think there's I haven't left a lot on the table. My personality is sort of all in, and I've definitely taken that approach to motorsport, which has meant that other things in my life have sort of had to take a back seat. And now I just want to probably prioritize a few more of those other things in life. And part of it was, I guess, going back to where I feel more at home, and that is in Queensland, and spending more time with close friends that I've developed relationships with over 14 years and still are my friends to this day. So that's the biggest catalyst. Is just it's time for something different, and I don't know what that is at the moment. It could eventually end up being back in motorsport in some way, shape, or form, or it could be outside of motorsport. But at the moment, it's going to be back in Queensland, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But definitely hard. It seems mad to walk away from it when it's only just getting started. We're still growing. We're still a young team. We've still got a lot of things, systems and things in the background that we're still working on that aren't at the right level yet that for where we want to get to. So there's still a lot of potential in this team, even though we've had some really good results and a really successful season. There's still a lot of potential left. Even just looking at even if you just look at Kai and Matt and how much they've grown over the last, Kai 1 year and Matt the last 3 or so. So, but those two have a huge more. They're just going to get better and better and better as drivers. The engineering team, the mechanical team, the pit stop crew. We've still got so much more to grow, and they're not capped out yet. So, honestly, look out. These guys are going to be guys are going to be a force. But at some point, you have to just, you can chase trophies for a long time, but you have to, look at yourself and give yourself time for some other things and prioritize some other things. So that's the decision I made, and look, hope maybe I'll regret it. I don't know yet. We'll find out.
Life. That's life,
right?
Bathurst win. Enough to, so I presume you made this decision before Bathurst.
I did, yeah.
Not enough to sway you to go, well, gee, that was good. I wouldn't mind having a crack at another one of those.
Look, that was special. Yeah, that was to see the team celebrating, after that win and that day. We were we that was a day. That was a day at Bathurst. That was Bathurst, right? If there's a definition of Bathurst, you'll put this year's race in the dictionary, right? Maybe second, maybe 240.
You're in it a bit.
So, but that's as good as it gets. And to see the look on, Stephen's face, like Brenton's face, and then, the rest of the team, obviously, who, and honestly, like some of the guys in the team this year, this is their first year in supercars, not just Kai, but mechanics and engineers. We're still a really young team all the way through. So, I guess it was like me in 2008 turning up to Bathurst for the first time and getting that win. Like some other people in this team got that experience, and for me that was so cool and satisfying to see the look on their faces when the car crossed the line. And it doesn't get much better than that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So what now? Are you parked up for a while? Are you just going to relax and take some time, and you're benched because of your departing a place here? I'm presuming the phone has no doubt rung from various people and places, but is this just a bit of, I don't know, what we call it, an extended Christmas break for you now?
Yeah, basically it's that. So a move up north in the next week, and then head to Christmas, spend some time with family in Sydney, and then it'll be back to Queensland and some time at the beach, and just having a bit of a breath, and then just, trying to see what's next, and see where it takes me, maybe a little bit of travel and things like that, get out and see the world a little bit.
Not to Sydney Motorsport Park in February?
No, that's not on the travel destination list at the moment.
I do think so.
So, no, it's not. But that's it at the moment. It's just, have a bit of a breather, and maybe it's funny. When you're in it, you rarely get to stop and reflect on the years and the seasons and the good bits and the bad bits. This is almost the first time I've spoken about some of those races and some of those years for the first time, like for a very long time or ever. So maybe do a bit of that as well. Go and tell some stories of how good I was.
Well, we might have some V8 sleuth overnights that you come along and tell some of those stories.
Exactly. So so that's it for now.
It's a hamster wheel, motor racing, working in teams, all that sort of stuff. It is very easy to stay on it.
Yeah.
It's very hard when you're in it and on it.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to also make a decision to step away from it and to do something else, or to give yourself some time. So congratulations on that, because that's actually very hard to do. I think I've tried to do it for 25 years and I have not succeeded yet. I'm still in it.
Yeah, I know.
But it's a personal thing. It's about you. I'm sure we're not going to see the last of you. You'll be around somewhere sometime. There'll be a fishing reel that gets you in with a challenge somewhere along the line. But, mate, great to catch up before you depart here. You should be really proud of what you've done, but how you've done it as well. And to chat about some of this stuff along the way. It's literally the highs and lows and greatest hits, but I reckon there's a few more albums left in you. So go and rest up and go to the recording studio, and we might see you down the track.
Nah, for sure. Yeah, no, thank you. It's been an epic 18 years in the sport, and it is a great sport, and it's only going to keep getting better and better. It's lots of good memories, lots of good times. There's been some highs, there's been some lows. But I've enjoyed every bit of it, and the sport's only going to grow and keep flourishing from here. So can't wait to watch it from the couch for a little bit, and then we'll see if I end up back at a racetrack at some point.
And there you have it, my catch up with David Cauchi, a bit of a deeper insight into his career, what's next, and why he's made the decision to step away from that team principal role at Grove Racing. Big thanks to the team at Grove Racing for teeing up the time and having me along to the race shop before Christmas to sit down with him. It was nice to also see plenty of familiar faces in that building in Braeside, given that I rolled in during lunch break, so everyone was out and about. I'm intrigued to know where Cauchi pops up next, but I'm sure we'll see him somewhere, sometime, somehow, in some shape or form, at some form of a racetrack. I'm not sure he can fully keep away, but we will wait and see. Right, thanks for tuning in. Keep following V8 Sleuth on the socials. Keep reading the website and our new print magazine too for a whole pile of cool content on Aussie Motorsport. I will catch you next time on the V8 Sleuth podcast. See you then.